I'm Adam Sanders, and this is a 5-minute beer review. The beer that I'm going to review today is from one of my all-time favorite brewers. That brewer is Oskar Brewery from Longmont, Colorado. Now, two things stand out right away about Oskar Brewery. First, they can all of their beer instead of bottle it. And second, their beers often have inventive names. For example, there's Gordon, Govna, 1050, Old Chub, and the beer that I'm going to review today in just a moment. But first, I want to talk just for a moment about why canned beer. I mean, aren't cans just for cheap, crappy, watery beer, or else gimmicks like cans that light up blue to tell you when your beer is cold enough to drink, in case you're an absolute idiot and couldn't have told that for yourself? Well, no, actually, there are at least a couple good reasons to can beer. The first has to do with safety and ease of transportation. Some places like beaches or state parks might not allow glass on the premises, but if your beer's in a can, you can bring it. Also, cans are compact and they're easy to stack, so they're easy to just throw in a cooler and go. Second of all, cans eliminate one of the two chief enemies of beer freshness. Those enemies are oxygen and sunlight. Now, cans, since they're opaque, block sunlight from hitting the beer and destroying its freshness, so cans add to the shelf life and freshness of beer. So those are a couple of reasons why it makes sense to can beer. These days, more and more craft brewers seem to be canning their beer. So with that little background on Oskar Brewery and the canning of beer, without further ado, I will introduce the beer that I'm going to review today. And it is Mama's Little Yella Pils by Oskar Brewing, and it's modeled by my daughter B. Now, this beer clocks in at 5.3% alcohol by volume, and it is a Czech-style Pilsner. Okay, B, thank you very much. All right, well, I will put this on, and let's do the deed. Take a look. As you can see, it's a nice, clear, golden color. Now, if you've watched my earlier video called What is a Noble Hop, or watched my review of Sam Adams' Noble Pils, you know a little something about Pilsner style. Pilsners feature noble hops, which often have very earthy or herbal, grassy aromas and flavors to them. And of course, Pilsners also use pale malts, and so they have this pale color. Now, aroma-wise, Mama's Little Yella Pils comes off as a classic Czech-style Pilsner. There's a scent like fresh mowed grass, and that's those noble hops. And then also there's a little bit of malt aroma underlying the hops, and that malt kind of reminds me of hay, like fresh mowed hay. So you've got like mowed grass in the hop aroma, and then you have mowed hay in the malt aroma. Let's give it a taste. Flavor-wise, Mama's Little Yella Pils, again, just comes off as a pretty classic, middle-of-the-road American version of the classic European Pilsner style. There is quite a lot of bitterness up front. I would say Mama's Little Yella Pils is a little bit more aggressively hopped than a lot of Pilsners. Not in that floral, not in that citrusy way, but just like clean, organic, herbal, plant-like bitterness. Now, there's kind of an initial burst of bitterness from the hops, but then this beer really is quite sweet, and that sweetness comes out in the middle. Now, that's from the malted barley, and the malted barley in this beer gives the beer a kind of biscuity taste, like the kind of sweetness that lingers in your mouth after you chew on a biscuit. And again, just like in the aroma, there's a little bit of pleasant, wet hay characteristics to the malt here. So, the bottom line, Oskar Blues Mama's Little Yella Pils is a really good Pilsner. It's not the best Pilsner I've ever had, but it really is a good example of just the classic European-style Pilsner, and it's a great go-to beer on a 85-degree Tennessee day like what we're having today. Now, by my palate, the Sam Adams Noble Pils actually is a little bit better than the Oskar Blues Mama's Little Yella Pils, and the Sam Adams is about half the price of the Mama's Little Yella Pils. This beer was $10 for a six-pack. Sam Adams Noble Pils is probably around $6 or $7 for a six-pack. So you are saving a lot of money if you go with the Sam Adams. If you do see some of this, especially if you see it on sale, I'd say pick it up. You will like it. It is a good summer beer. I give Mama's Little Yellow Pills by Oskar Blues Brewing a 7.5 out of 10. Cheers.